The White House, Black History Month, a packed room, flashing cameras, and then an unexpected Indian name echoes the stage here. Harmeet is on their trial, right? That was the line from none other than US President Donald Trump that turned the heads. Because in the middle of the speech about Black History Month, in a room filled with civil rights groups, leaders, a US president singled out an Indian American woman. Let's talk about her. Who is she and why was she mentioned and why this matters specifically for Indians who are watching from afar. The White House was marking Black History Month, a tradition observed every Friday across the United States. Well, it was 100th anniversary. Trump called it special. He called the room beautiful and full. But this was not just a cultural event, it was also political, tribute, praise, and power move. Trump began by honoring the late civil rights leader, Jesse Jackson, and then he pivoted to policy, to law, and to his record. He spoke about the First Step Act, a major criminal justice reform law passed during his first term. He reminded the whole audience about funding for historically Black colleges and their universities. He highlighted opportunity zones. He praised economic growth, and then came a very different name. Here enters Harmeet Dhillon. Harmeet is on their trial, right? That was Trump's line, referring to legal battles involving Harvard University and other institutions. Now, the Harmeet he mentioned, Harmeet Dhillon, an Indian American lawmaker born in 1969, now serving as the US Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division. Let me tell you here, it's not a small role. That is one of the most powerful civil rights enforcement positions in America. From California politics to Washington power, Dhillon previously served as vice chair of the California Republican Party. She was also the Republican National Committee woman for California. But now she sits inside the Justice Department, handling very sensitive civil rights cases. And at a nationally televised White House event, the president publicly backed her. Now that is a signal. Another voice in the room here. The event also featured Alice Mary Johnson. Her life sentence for a non-violent drug offense was commuted during Trump's first term. In fact, her story became symbolic for the First Step Act. She praised the president from the stage. She called her journey from the prison pit to the White House. It was emotional, it was political, it was powerfully imaginary. Well, here's a bigger picture. For the Indian audience, this moment really matters because Indian Americans are no longer just doctors or tech CEOs in the US. They are now in civil rights enforcement, cabinet level role, and national security position with high profile battlefield. Dhillon's public mention at such a symbolic event highlights that particular shift. But here's the question, was this simply recognition or was it also political positioning, tying the civil rights enforcement to broader cultural war that is playing out in America? Well, when Trump mentions Harvard, when he talks about enforcement, when he praises a senior Indian American official, he's sending multiple messages all at once. To the supporters, to the critics, and to the institution. And this moment, ladies and gentlemen, stands out because Black History Month is about honoring the African American history. Yet, in that space, an Indian American civil rights chief became part of the spotlight. Well, that intersection is striking. It shows how American politics is led, interconnected, and strategic. In the end, the applause fades. The speeches end and cameras move on. But one line remains. Harmeet is on their trial. In Washington, words are never casual. And when an Indian origin official is praised from the White House stage, the world takes the notice, specifically our India.